everyone, this is Lisa with Grace and Old Paper. I wanted to do something a little different today. I think I've done craft with me videos before, but I am such an indecisive person that every time I would plan out everything before I did it so that you wouldn't see my agonizing indecision. But I'm going to try to, well, first of all, I want to go through what I've got for this project, and then possibly, if I haven't drove you crazy by then, do a small project at the end. I have laid out some supplies for it just because I couldn't help myself. But I haven't planned it. I've just laid out some supplies for it. So here we go. First of all, this container, I have 6 of these, and they fit in a rolling shelf that I got off of Amazon. I love these things. They fit 12 by 12 papers. They hold a lot of stuff. And like I said, it fits underneath my desk. I can roll it out. I do plan on purchasing a second one of these eventually, because over on that side of my desk, I have an L-shaped desk, and over on that side is my sewing machine. And underneath it, I have room for 2 of these units. And so I do hope to get another one someday. So I've kind of got them organized in there by themes. You know, we all have themes that we want to do journals for one day, and we collect things. So here we go. This, I have decided to do a horse journal because I've ran across a lot of horse things in recent times. First of all, I did go ahead and pick out a book that I had, and this was a teeny tiny little thin book that wouldn't hold but one teeny tiny signature, and I didn't want to do that. So I have cut the spine off, and I'm going to make my own spine. I have decided, however, to wait on making that spine until I have like my signatures together and most of the stuff done for it, because I'm bad at underestimating the size I need. And I want to make sure this is done better this time. I'm really striving for a good job this time. So anyway, this book feels leathery. That's one reason why I love it. The other reason why I loved it is the embossed design on the front. But I have already started on the front. Let's drop some. I found this image in a magazine. It's a mom and her baby, and I just loved it. Beautiful coloring and everything. I did make a mistake and put it on file folder. Don't know why. I felt I needed to, but it's okay. I mean, you can fill the edges on it for sure, but you know, it's okay. It's all right. I have this tree that I got out of a book I had, children's book, and then I put this paper doily back here, number 1, just because I liked it, the vintage look to it, and kind of represents the sun. But this is the design. I absolutely love this kind of leather tool design here. And I want to leave that intact if I can. I have fabric I want to use for the spine. Ever since I saw this fabric, this is what I thought of was a horse journal. I don't know why, but that's what spoke to me. So I'd like to take it to the edge of that if I can. I also want to use this for the inside spine, you know, behind the signatures, so that when you open the signatures up, you see a little bit of this in there. So I'm hoping that works out. Y'all say a prayer for me. I am going to Mod Podge over this whole thing so that none of it tries to pop up. So I had to piece together the background here, because it just ended weird, so I pieced it together to make it look a little better. But I did want to stop it here because I just love this design. Don't know if that was a mistake or not, but we're going with it. So this is my front cover. The back, I don't think I'm going to do anything to it. I just like the feel of it. It just feels fantastic. So that's my cover. This is my spine, inside and out. And I got this at my local thrift store for $2.99. Really good, heavyweight material. Love it. So I got that planned. I have, this came out of a children's book I have. Let me see. I have it right here. If you ever see one of these, grab it. it has been the most fantastic book for fussy cutting. I have got trees, flowers, birds. There's sections on just all kinds of things. There's the bird section, and you see I still have more in here. Dogs. Haven't really used any of the dogs yet. There's black and white and color images. And then it has the flowers. I think I've used up most of it. I have a few colored flowers left. Just love the drawings of it. I think they're so beautiful. I have bugs. Probably will not use the bugs. But see, every section has its own index. And so that's what I wanted to use. I fussy cut the index for the horses out. I did not include all of these horses, so it's just too much. But this kind of went above it, so I'm gonna have to find me a pretty not an end paper, but the first page, and put this on it. That's what I would like to do. That when you open the journal, this is the first page. I like that. I've been collecting things, so these images came out of that book. Like I said, some black and white, some color. I do want to use these as the center of my signatures. So I have this one that has an Appaloosa and the American Saddle Horse. And on the inside, it has a fire horse. I love that, center spread. I have that. I have the Hackney and the harness horse. And this one has steeplechaser, something like that. Good images. So it's two. Then I have the Arabian and the Polo Ponies. And this one on the inside is the Pony Express. Love the artwork. This one is Palomino and the Quarter Horse. And the inside is the Indian Cayuse. Not really sure. And then we have the Morgan and the Coach Horse. And inside, these actually they did go together, because you can see the image in the crack there fits together. They're just not a, it's not a one image thing. So it's the Clydesdale and the Percheron. Just love these pictures. So I've got those for the middle of the signatures. That's if I do 5. If I have to do more than that, then I'll have to come up with some more, which I've got some more down in here. These I want to be my end papers. And I decided, because see, the back has these big black blotches, and if you put it on white or anything white, I actually can see through that. And when I go putting, you know, glues and Mod Podge and stuff on here to adhere it, it's gonna show. So I decided if I back it with black, it doesn't show. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I will do. I've got 2 of these. These came from the reprint of the Sears and Roebuck catalog. It's a reprint of the 1902. So I like these. I don't know which sections of them I will use, but that's going to be my end papers. I also have things like this old ledger that's already aged. I have a guest book. This is the only time I've had a guest book, and I will probably tea dye it because it's kind of a pinky purpley color. And Miss Catherine from Sunnyside Journals says she loves putting guest books pages in her journal. So Miss Catherine, this is for you. I've never done this before in any of the things I've been working on, but it's also, some of it I was really excited. Some of it has scripture, and naturally, now that I'm looking for it, let's see, there's has scripture at the bottom, so I'll probably use some of those pages. So yeah, I'll put some guest book in there. I have this old notebook that's already got the vintagey colored papers. I want to do this, yes, I'm gonna have some colorful images and magazine images, but I want it also to be vintage. Lucked across this recently at my antique store. It's that onion skin paper, typewriter paper, and I've never used it, but boy, do I love the crinkly, crackly sound of it. That just, it just sounds lovely. So I'm going to try to use some of that. Never used it before. I have an old aged notebook. I'll use some pages out of that. I have this little notebook. Again, the same coloring. Love this thing. I have about used it up. I wish I could find another one because it's sewn in. So I have just been popping the pages out and using them. I have some collage pieces that recently when my youngest daughter came for a visit, we sat down and we just collaged. I just pulled out all my junk books and some music pages, and we just had a good time collaging. I used it on the back of some old like textbook things I had, and we just had a good time. So some of it has music, some of it doesn't, and I just love the variety of colors and fonts and everything. So I'll probably use some of those for, you know, well, like this. I made this journal card, and it's got the collage stuff behind it, and I backed it with takeout bags, but to me it kind of looks leathery, especially when you do some inking around it. So that's one journal card I've made. This is the only thing I've made besides the cover for this book. So I got that. So I've got more of this. I've got more of this hidden away too. I've got this little folder of things. And real quick, let me tell you about this thing I found in some of my household stuff. I found this book. And it's not so much the book, but it had a bunch of these things in it. These are photo pages. And I have taken some of my ephemera I have fussy cut and cut out and put them in different sections. Sorry, it's coming apart. I want to open the whole thing. There. So, and I went through and labeled. I haven't labeled it all. I got to go back in and label the rest of it. Don't you like my yucky ads? It's rat biscuit. Sounds yummy. Yummy, huh? So I've just got random objects. Sorry, I've been playing with this book so much, and now some of it's coming apart. Here we go. Just various things, vehicles, book covers. I've gotten a lot of this stuff out of my collector books. Mr. Gnome here. I love the gnome. Vintage Beauty. These came out of, all of this stuff like this came out of my 1909 McCall's magazine I got for $2 one time. But a lot of these other things like these cigar memorabilia came out of these books. So if you ever see these anywhere in your used bookstores, grab them. There is so much to fussy cut in these things, and there's a bunch of versions. Like this goes through cookbooks to detective fiction. So, you know, it's kind of alphabetical, and the Time Life put them out, and there's just so many things that you can fussy cut in here. There's just lots of stuff in them. So a lot of my stuff I got from those two places. I have tea bags, and these are little images torn out of encyclopedias. This is the COVID and quarantine ephemera my youngest daughter made for me. And for those of you that were on my I don't know if any of you were on my Facebook groups, but I had said something about it one time, and people were like, I'd love to have a copy of that. Well, she is working on making some up to sell, and she's trying to work with someone to figure out how to get it available for sale soon. So as soon as that is ready to go, I will let y'all know and show it to you and share it with you, and give you a link to it. I have some tea bags, vintage fashion, vintage household, vintage sewing. Oh, I'm so going to do a sewing journal one day. Vintage ads, ignore that man. Bears and bunnies. Farm. This is a precious little image, and it's important to me because we bought my youngest grandson one of those little green and yellow battery powered tractors with a trailer behind it. Oh, he loves it. Well, recently his daddy bought himself a riding lawnmower, and he got him a John Deere, and so they were having fun running around the yard having tractor races. You know, no blades engaged, so it was completely safe, but they were having little tractor races. It was the cutest thing. So I have vintage cooking, floral and greenery, Random children stuff. This little girl right here, it was one of the first things I ever fussy cut, and I am going to use her one day in a book. I just absolutely love that image. Western cowboys, Indians. My husband has a lot of Indian heritage in his family, and so, you know, some people are, I guess, offended by saying Indians, but we're not. We're not offended. He has a lot of heritage to that, and everything from Creek to Apache, so not offended. And I do hope to one day do a journal with that. I got 2 whole things with Disney, and I've got to get more because I will do a Disney journal one day. We've had some really great trips to Disney. Asian stuff, circus stuff. All this came out of my collector books. Birds. I have a bunch of fussy cut birds. Vintage war, the 50s. TV, movie, and celebrities. TV, movie, celebrities. Old buildings. These are just random people images that are too big to fit in my teeny tiny drawers I have over there from my little fussy cuts. This will be fishing stuff one day. Vintage children things. Just all kinds of different things. These came off of a book I had. I think it was Alice and Zinnia's or something like that. And it had big floral image up here, which I've got back here in my floral stuff. You can see some of it poking out right there, but they're just big squares of hand-drawn florals, and then these were at the bottom, and there was a page for every letter of the alphabet, so I saved those. This is, I've used stuff out of the Sears catalog, and this is the pieces of the pages left. I'm going to hang on to them. These are the backs of the envelopes of my in-laws that have passed on years ago. It's their love letters from before they got married, and I've already cut the fronts off and have used them in a journal, so I just wanted to save this because it's really great vintage paper. And then some random image, I don't know how to even classify that one. So if you ever, you know, get you a notebook and get you some of these big pages, and then if you can find like these photo pages, works great for keeping your ephemera. Really does. I'm slowly filling that thing up. So that's where this bag came from. And I have, excuse me, choking myself up talking here. I have like dictionary pages, saddle, stirrup, oh, there's saddle bag, horse, horseshoe, things like that. This is all I got here. This came out of my collector's book. It's, I guess it was an old poster, but it's got the horsey on it. Got this from Happy Mail. Got these from Happy Mail. They're really just 2 images, these and these, but I love them. Love them. So I've got all them in there. Found this one, this image, and this image. Isn't he a pretty horse? Gorgeous. I have some Christian music because I do like using music in a lot of my journals. And this is all vintage Christian music from these books. I got them for $1 a piece one time at the antique store. I was really happy about that. So I do like using music in my journals. So I have that. I have more of the Sears and Roebuck pages, these saddles. Look at this. $6.30 for a saddle. Oh, this fancy one over here, $19.95. Woo. So I've got that. I've got more magazine images. There's horses. I'm probably going to put this whole thing in there somewhere. It's a Christmas pony. It's a really great story. Loved it. More magazine. Not sure how I'm going to use them yet, or if I will. It's just a whole little things, cool things to read. Pony Express. These 2 horses are not happy with each other. But isn't that one beautiful? I just love the glossiness of them. They're so gorgeous. This was the front of a country magazine. I got these at my thrift store for like, I don't know, $1 a piece. So if you ever see these magazines, they have some really great fussy cut stuff. I have a few more of these pages, which I may or may not use, at the Bronco. The inside of this one is a 2-page spread. It's the Mustangs. You can see it all. So if I need another signature, I can use this Spanish horse. I don't want to use this one, the inside spread of this, because the inside spread is a circus horse. And, you know, a lot of people are now terrified of clowns, and so I don't really, and I don't like that they're using the whip on the horsey there, so if I use anything, it'll be maybe just the thoroughbred here, maybe this little image at the bottom, but I definitely want to use her somewhere, because I just love that. I love the old-fashionedness of this hand-drawn image. Just love it. It's got shell on the others, but I really like this side. Found these in my collector's book, Pony Express. Beautiful saddle, absolutely gorgeous. Texas saddle, 1880 it says. This was a 2-page spread of saddles, so I would like to use this in some way. I also have things like tea-dyed ledger pages, notebook, grid, paper, tea-dyed paper, tea-dyed ledger paper. So I've got all that to use. I found this one piece of music that says "Back in the Saddle Again." Recorded by Gene Autry. So I'm going to have to use that. Of course, I've got like little envelopes and some vintage index cards. More Sears and Roebuck stuff about horses. I found this. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. I found this image in a children's book. And it was actually one of the end papers. The other side, the other end paper, was really farm stuff. It was horses, and it wasn't horses, it was cows and sheep and a barn and stuff like that, and I didn't want to use that, but I love this one. I think it's just beautiful. And then I have some scrapbook papers. And I have a little bit of debate going on in my head about some of it. I won't use all of this, but I will use some of it. So I have this kind of leathery looking. I love that one. That may be my front page. I have this kind of really dark red grungy paper. I have this plaid and I absolutely love it, but it kind of clashes with the spine fabric, so I may not be able to use it. I have some wood, which I like that. This is like burnt wood, you know, get a pattern on it. So is this one, but oh my goodness, I love that one. And then more of the reddish tones, kind of grungy looking. I'm not sure about this one. Maybe. And then my really big debate is whether to use this as maybe an accent color, you know, something thrown in, a little bit more color, or this without the roses, this green. I like the weathered, kind of like the side of a barn look on this, and the sky blue. I like that. It kind of contrasts really nicely. But I'm a matchy person. Sometimes I'm very very OCD about matchy. And my brain is going, but look, this has that green color and it matches. So help. What would you do with all these other papers and, you know, the horsey images and everything? You know, my thinking is the blue goes with the sky and some of it, but I don't know if I'll be using the sky part. And then the green just goes with this stuff. Help. So, I do love the Elite's papers though, so I've got those. So let me put these up before I hurt anything with them. So this is just a lot of the stuff I've gathered up. And of course I've got, you know, lace doilies and lace trims and stuff like that I want to put in it. I want this to be vintage and horsey, so kind of feminine and vintage kind of thing. Something like that. I'll make it up as I go along. So anyway, I've got this stuff. I don't know if I told you, but I want this to be on the front page, so save that. Let me put some of this stuff up real quick. I just got some of that messed up. I'll fix it later. Okay. Like I said, I love these. I will try to put a link to this thing down below. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. It holds so much, doesn't it? And they just slide right in that drawer system. All right, what I thought I'd work on today is I've got this little envelope that I want to include in the book. So I've got me some supplies and stuff here. And I want to decorate the front of it. And I'm probably just going to glue it to the page so that you can use it for a pocket. But I want to decorate the front. So I've got some various things. I kind of like this on the bottom. So if I did that, oh, it really wants to scrunch. I should have ironed that. Because when I put it on there, it's going to go scrunchy scrunch, isn't it? Oh, I really like that too. I have this little piece. Okay, let's see. I thought about putting this card on here to start with. Because I like that horsey. I've got... I could back it with music. That would be pretty. Let me do that first, because I can always use that again. So, cutter. I'm going to cut the border off first, so that it's just nothing but music showing. $19.47. I'm gonna save that piece because that's kind of cool. Let's see here. We put this to here. I had a lovely experience yesterday. I had sent a couple of Instagram private messages to a couple of junk journal ladies, and to get some advice on how they store their ephemera, or books that need to be fussy cut, whether they go ahead and cut them out and then, you know, sort the ephemera out of it, or if they leave the books whole, and because I'm running out of room on my shelves. So anyway, I ended up having a lovely little conversation with Miss Catherine from Sunnyside Journals. And it just thrilled my soul. Just thrilled my soul that she actually answered and was patient with my questions and my chattiness, which she says she's chatty too, so that's okay. We were both being chatty. Okay, I like that. And let's see how that looks behind here. And I'm out of frame. Get up here. So that looks pretty good. And then that. See, I like using music. Oh. Why is it not letting it go on there straight? Thank you. That's kind of cool. And then I got this in a piece of Happy Mail. What if I take one of these apart? Very meticulous cutting. Cutting those little tiny threads loose. This is how I get most of my lace pieces, as I get either lace curtain or bigger piece of lace and just cut the little elements out of it. Works pretty good. Okay. Best scissors ever too. I love them. I bought these years ago when I was going to make a, you call it a rag quilt, for my grandson, my first grandson. When I found out my daughter was expecting, I was like, I gotta make him a blanket. And it's one of those where you sew the squares together out of baby flannel, and then you go back in and you snip the edges of it all, and it frays, and it makes a rag quilt, kind of like that. Like that. Yeah, see, that would have looked cute, but I'm afraid to use it because it's like so scrunchy. I know when I glue it on there, it'll straighten up, but what else have I got? All right, let me pull out the stuff here. I mean, I've got a lot more laces, but I don't want to cut into a whole brand new thing of it if I can help it. So I'm looking at my snippets. That's really pretty, but it's too big. Give me a second. I promise I'll be right back. I got some stuff in here. I want it to kind of be that same color there. That's kind of pretty. What do we think? Thinkity think, think, think. Oh, that looks terrible. Some things you just get it close to the page and you're like, nope, 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 nope. I got a little one here. Well, these are just all too huge. I mean, I like that one, but I don't want to cover up the horsies, you know? Wish I had a small one of that. All of these are just the wrong color. Nope. Okay, so those are all a no. So what else could we do? You know, I hate covering up any part of that horse, so I think until I cut this off of something else. I'm thinking about just that. Let's go for it. Sometimes you just gotta quit thinking and do, right? Quit thinking and do. That's what I'm gonna do. Just quit thinking and do. Maybe figure it out along the way. I love this glue, by the way. Some people don't like it because, like, if you leave the lid off of it for a little bit, it starts getting stringy. But if you keep the lid on it, it works really great. I'm guessing this is the right piece. It doesn't look like the right piece. Well, did I do it backwards? You know, I think I did, but we're going to go with this side, okay? Since I got the glue on it. Oh boy. Y'all Y'all pardon me. So it ain't going to turn out exactly right, okay? Oh, goodness. Getting the camera thing. Are y'all all just sitting at home laughing at me? I laugh at me all the time. It's okay. You know, learned nobody's perfect. Nobody crafts perfectly. And it's okay. Yeah, I just got glue everywhere. It's okay. I'll still like it. I'm not selling this, so it's okay. It's okay. Alright, now we need some Fabri-Tac. Good old Fabri-Tac. The slowest glue in the world. Okay. You know, everybody says look for the front and back on these things, but you know, it's really hard to do. Can't always see it. Boy, that came out good. And it's really hard to put glue on something that's got such an open weave to it, but we're going for it. Ta-da! There we go. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Here's a piece of this stuff. It's not my first choice. I really like this better. Oh, let's just try it. Now I can always come back in with the tip of the iron and kind of iron it flat very carefully. And if this doesn't work out, I've got more cards and I can redo it. Right? Right. Okay, let's go for it. Okay. Tap it down. I need to get me some of those. I've seen some people have those little silicone makeup brush things that don't stick to your fingers like this, you know. I need to get me some. Ooh, I forgot I had something down here. I do have this thing. Maybe that'll work. Yeah. There we go. Yay. That's not bad. This is just one of these little kitchen spatulas. And it's made out of silicone, so that works pretty good. I forgot I had this. There. What do we think, huh? Gotta trim it, do a little inking. That actually worked pretty good. Don't cut the bag. Yay! Inking. I use Vintage Photo. It's really the only big one I have right now. I have one thing of ink. But I'll get more eventually. You know, it takes a while to build up all your stash on a limited income. Oh, but I like it. looks pretty good. Found something colorful here. Look at that. Oh, that looks terrible on that green. Well, you get the idea. You get the idea. So, I've showed you what I'm going to be working on. I have showed you my ephemera storage, and I did this little paper bag thing. Yay me! Anyway, thank y'all for sticking with me. Subscribe if you'd like to. If you don't, that's okay. I understand. Give it a thumbs up if you'd like to. And I will see you next time I feel like sharing my crazy crafting with the world. So may God bless you and keep you safe.